Yes, you did hear me right. I did say the game was being played in Mendoza, and despite that caption, that is the truth, because this game has been switched to Argentina as a result of crowd disturbances during the Chile versus Brazil game, and also a very strong rumour that the electronic scoreboard was putting up things which were likely to incite the crowd. Anyway, there is the Chile lineup, and some very good names in it indeed. Venezuela, a significant change in goal, where Gomez has come in place of Baena, who has played in all the previous World Cup games. I was talking about some of the Chilean names there, and particularly impressive Fernando Astengo, who was quite magnificent in the previous games, and that man who we saw scoring those 2 goals in the first game against Venezuela, Jorge Aravena, he'll be wearing number 10. And for your identification purposes, it's Chile in the red shirts and blue shorts, and Venezuela all in white. And goalkeeper Roberto Rojas rolls the ball forward to Astengo, who gave a quite imperious performance in the game in Caracas, which Chile won very easily despite the scoreline of 3-1. It could well have been 4 or 5-1. The first foul is committed by Venezuela on Patricio Yanez, who was extremely troublesome in that first game down the right touchline, and that's something they'll have to guard against. And that's another free kick conceded by Venezuela, no more than 5 or 6 yards outside their own penalty box. The defender involved was Roberto Cavallo, and noticeable that there is no Betancourt in the Venezuela side. Andres Paz has been brought into his position, and I think that Venezuela will have had a little bit of the heart knocked out of them by that 6-goal thrashing by Brazil. Up till then they'd performed with genuine credit, and they'll be very wary now. This man has scored from a free kick against them from an almost identical position in the first game. Aravena, he couldn't repeat the exercise, but the referee is being rather stringent here, and yet another free kick. The official is Elias Jacome from Ecuador. The 2 linesmen also from Ecuador, Alfredo Rodas and Jose Orellana. So Aravena has another chance to prove that he really is one of the best free kick specialists in the world. He relishes this sort of opportunity. Number 6 standing with him is Jaime Pizarro. And typically for a South American encounter, it's taking an awful long time for the free kick to be actually taken. And Aravena will be looking to curl it around or over that wall. Left-footed, here he comes, and well, a man rushed out of the wall there way before the free kick was taken, and the referee is absolutely right in his booking there off Cavallo. He never gave him a chance. So a very early booking indeed for the Venezuelan defender, and a 3rd chance for Aravena to get it right. Just receiving a word of encouragement from Astengo, and really is what they don't need, Venezuela, to go a goal down early on. And they tried to catch them out, and Gomez makes his first contribution to the game, clutching onto that ball with great glee. I think that'll have settled his nerves down a little. It's nicely done. Everybody was looking, of course, for Aravena's left foot. In fact, the ball was curled by Yanez's right foot. The other important factor here, of course, is for Chile to boost their goal-scoring average. Brazil have been extremely productive in their 3 games, scoring 11 times and conceding just 1 goal, whereas Chile have managed only 4 in their 2 games, so they really are looking for a boost here against the weaker, or the weakest of the 3 countries in their group. Group 3 in South America. The winners automatically go through to Italy, which is unlike the situation in Group 2, where Colombia, Ecuador and Paraguay know that the winners there still have a playoff game against Israel. expected. All the early pressure is coming from Chile. Venezuela have not been out of their own half as yet. And it must be their ambition to get the ball forward to Carlos Maldonado, the highly successful striker in the Copa America. And now they are coming within sniffing distance of the Chile half, and they're inside it. That one surely won't find the mark. Well, the crowd urging them on, although there are of course quite a lot of neutrals in the crowd here in Argentina. Oh, that's yet another free kick conceded. Dreadful challenge on Yanez, and unless Cavallo calms himself down quickly, they could end up this game with 10 men, or could very shortly have only 10 men. He's been booked already for dashing out of a wall as a free kick, and that was a rather rash challenge. Treading warily at the moment, but here's the free kick for Chile. They're getting used to taking these. Safely enough taken by Gomez. Biner perhaps a little shell-shocked after the 6 goals put past him by Brazil. Say of nothing for the 3 from Chile. And 4 more, of course, in the other game with Brazil. So Venezuela have conceded 13 goals in their 3 games. Again, Gomez rather active. So it's been a busy and efficient start for the deputy goalkeeper. That's rather given away and gives Chile the opportunity to maintain their pressure. It's a little bit too long, bit of a bounce, but Gomez is equal to that. So the Chilean coach Orlando Aravena, very, very keen obviously to take his side to Italy. Chile can be a very potent force in South America. They seem to play better against South American sides than they do whenever they're on travel. Although a number of their players, of course, now do play in Europe. Safely done. And of course one of those players is Patricio Yanez, who's at the moment with Betis in Spain. So conditions in Italy will not be foreign to him. Building from the back is Gonzalez. Now Pizarro. That's a strong, that's a much better tackle. Fair one as well. Oh, one back well for Chile. Very well done indeed. And there must be chances here. 3 men up in the area, another arriving. Oh, it was given back to him as well. And it was initially the tackle of Jaime Vera who won the ball in midfield, which got Venezuela right on the back foot there. And they've done well to come away with unscathed from that. They really look as well as... They need to get the ball out to Fernandez wide. That's better. That's much better approach from Venezuela, who do have some good individual skills. And here's a chance now. Maldonado in the middle. And for the first time, Chile find themselves having to concede a corner. It was Astengo who needed to be alert there. Maldonado was looking for a cross from Fernandez. Mendoza, I always think, is one of the greenest pitches we've ever seen. It's a lovely stadium, very open. That's not a very lovely finish. It's perhaps surprising that Chile have never won the South American club or national team titles, although they were the runners-up to Uruguay in 1987, but they're very much on the attack again now with Yanez, and that'll be a corner for them. So corners at either end of the ground in the space of a minute. Yanez, a sort of a tubby little figure in many ways, but a bustling type of player who can unsettle the best of defences. He's won them that corner, and the two men over here are Letelier and Vera. Vera number 8. Here is Vera. It's going to be put behind again. Chile didn't really perform with a great deal of credit in the South American Championships, apart from a very good win indeed against Bolivia. They scored 5. They've not really shown very well in other games, but they were certainly in pretty good form in the first game against Venezuela. They seem to have got their act together then. They scored some excellent goals. Aravena noticeably getting 2 of them, one with that free kick which you saw in our opening title sequence. There's Cavallo, the man already booked. And a very needless booking, it has to be said. That'll be yet another free kick. Can't remember Chile conceding any as yet, and yet Venezuela must have given away at least half a dozen. Oh, and again, well, how often are we going to see number 14 rolling around like that? Every time Yanez seems to be on the ball, somebody hacks away at his ankles, and he feels the taste of the turf. So it gives Aravena yet another chance. Now then, Gomez looks a little bit unprotected there in many ways. There are 4 or 5 defenders grouped around, but I would think there could be chances here for Chile if they can get this one right. It wasn't really a very well placed free kick, but I thought they looked in a bit of a jumble at the back. In fact, the referee wasn't happy with what went on at all. Well, I doubt whether Aravena has ever had so many chances in such a short space of time. And he just preferred to curl him with that left foot of his. Goalkeeper's hopping around on his line. Now he stands more still. Aravena! Oh, it's a great effort. He could well have caught him unawares at the far post. To be fair to Gomez, I think he was in line with it, and therefore the ball had to be going wide if he'd got his angles right. So no matter how much this curled, I don't think it could quite have crept in, but it wasn't a bad try. A particularly good goal kick, but it found a Venezuelan player. Easily cut out, but then rather too easily given away again by Carrero, and a chance of a break on here, and the ball is through. There must be a chance for Letelier. Chile 1 up, and Letelier celebrates. It was a delightful little ball through to him, but Venezuela had only themselves to blame for that. And Juan Carlos Letelier scores the first goal of the game. The little nudge there to him was from Yanez, and it went through Gomez's legs. But a pretty good finish from Letelier. So he's a happy fellow, even if not all of the crowd are, and Chile have that priceless advantage of the first goal. It's come in 14 minutes, so again Venezuela have to start all over again goal down, and that cannot do their morale much good. Solid work at the back from Hector Puebla. Rojas, I think he saw a little bit of movement up front then from both Letelier and from Basay. I thought he might have got them away, but that time Venezuela's defending much better. Gonzalez to Isis. Nice little turn by Vera, another of the players who's in Europe these days, playing with Crete in Greece. OFIA Crete. And the man on the ball now is Arriaza. So Venezuela really have to change their policy now. They've got to come and attack. At least they've got supporting play there. That's a rather aimless cross though. The ball just drifting away. But it's going to be interesting to see whether Venezuela have the ability to step up their game now that they have gone a goal down. Means that they've conceded 14 goals now in their 4 games. And who's to say there won't be more to add to that tally? Pizarro. Oh, lovely little decoy run there, which has given Basay a little bit of room. And was it a trip or was it not a trip? The referee, I think quite rightly said no. Letelier was going one way, the defender coming across. It didn't really take him out of the game. So I think that was a fair decision. Now Gonzalez. He can strike a ball. Oh, it's a good pass from him too. Back heel not good enough this time. Vera conceding a free kick for the challenge on Wilton Arriaza. Oh, and again that ball picked up for Chile by Isis. Just a little bit of lackadaisical play at times in midfield from Venezuela, which is often where, of course, the matches are won and lost. Again, they're defending against Yanez. I think there must have been an offside flag there. It wasn't a very intelligent ball, really. Had to be off. And the Chilean coach, Orlando Aravena, seems to be having a rare old go at Jaime Vera. So Chile lead by 1-0 here in Mendoza. And of course, if they maintain this position, they'll join Brazil on the 5-point mark in Group 3 in South America. Both will have 2 wins and a draw from their 3 games. And the final match, Brazil against Chile, which will also be played in Argentina, is on September the 3rd. So by this weekend we'll know who is going through to Italy from Group 3. Hot favourites must be Brazil. Of course, had that 6-0 demolition with Careca scoring 4 times against Venezuela. Isis. Almost a very good turn away. He was just caught by Arriaza. Pizarro leaves it for Aravena. Interception by Torres. Oh, and again They seem to be getting hustled into difficulty. That's when they do give the ball away. That's a much better pass, and that at long last has given Maldonado something to chase. Bit of a diving tackle by Isis. The referee from Ecuador didn't like the look of it. It did appear to be a little bit malicious, maybe. So Venezuela at long last have a chance now, and Carlos Maldonado is there to take the free kick. Only manages to find the head of Astengo. They're still here. Trying to go on the outside there was Acosta. This is Andres Paz, and he'll leave it. Oh, good ball inside the area. He was only just offside. Bit of relief for the Chilean captain, Roberto Rojas, one of the few goalkeeping captains in the world. Chile so far have defended stoutly when they've had to do, but now they'll have to defend. Certainly 3 men up in this attack already for Venezuela. They're being supplemented by others in and around the penalty area. Able to get the cross in, but the danger's still here, and this is Venezuela's best spell without question. A good chance, and it just seemed to run away at the moment when he least wanted it to from Carrero. Fernandez was also there. That's the closest Venezuela have come to forming a few worry beads on the face of Roberto Rojas. So they do appear to have managed to add a bit of impetus to their game after going a goal down. Carlos Letelier, the scorer of the only goal of the game so far. Oh, it's an awkward one for the keeper. Still chances. And Jose Gomez there must have been more than a little concerned as he dashed from his line. He couldn't possibly have scrambled back in time. So Yanez leaves it. Vera goes across. And Chile have another corner. And I think the second goal would probably kill off Venezuela. Stengo's header. Oh, Gomez there, under no pressure at all, showing perhaps a few signs of nerves. It appears the whistle has gone anyway, but I don't think he knew that, in all honesty. It's a tremendous kick. Chile just appear that much stronger and much sharper, and rather keener too. Yanez still trying to curl it over. Oh, that was so close. Letelier charging in, a touch away. They've played some good football, the Chile. And Astengo, as cool as ever, just doing enough to work that ball back to his skipper. And having drawn with Brazil already in this group, I don't think that Chile will be any easy pushovers for the favourites in Group 3. Brazil, of course, have got some marvellous footballers. Vera working a good position. Oh, and that was a fortunate ricochet. So unlucky. It was a slightly fortunate ricochet so far as Chile were concerned, but then everything to be admired about Letelier's chip. It really was glorious. He stopped it. It wasn't even a ricochet actually. He just blocked it, turned and flicked his shot onto the crossbar. It was nearly two. Oh, that came back of his own player. And Venezuela are really living dangerously at the moment. Yanez, he's torching them at times. Not a good cross though. Again, the ball given away to a man in a red shirt, and Isis keeps it going. Pizarro is the player who looks to be in some difficulty now. Strong player who takes up good positions on the right, as he'd done there. And a bit of a hammer blow, I think, and in fact it looks as though, yes, the old yellow card is out again. And it looks to me as though it's Pedro Acosta, the captain. So 2 bookings, both of them on the Venezuelan side. Acosta follows Cavallo into referee Yacome's notebook. Noticeable that Vera seems to have taken over responsibilities for free kicks. Perhaps they feel that they know everything that Aravena's got to offer now. Isis. There's been some nice approach play by Chile in the last few minutes. They've really put their game together, and Vera again here, trying to thread it through. Yanez hadn't continued his run. Gonzalez, the tough defender who reckons that he became a marked man very early in his career, marked by referees, that is, for a few indiscretions. Played wide by Lopez, gets it back, and still only the 1 goal in it though. That's a good run. Aravena did nicely then. Chile, a few men waiting now. It required perhaps a quicker cross. Maybe he didn't feel he had enough options, Bassé. But still another corner. Gomez will pluck that one out handily enough. Strange throw out. That was always going to be a difficult one to locate the player he wanted. And it keeps the pressure yet again on the Venezuelan goal. And a lot of Chilean players are still up here. Support once more from the fullback. Nice little dummy. Both Astengo and Gonzalez love to support their attacks. Astengo it was there. He's now charging back. Offside. So little joy for Ildemaro Fernandez as yet. Little joy for Venezuela indeed. But Chile have the 1 goal and they're looking for another. Is that a corner? Yes, it is. They're just a bit too quick thinking for Venezuela at the moment. The thing they do is that bit sharper. Well, Venezuela have a free kick now. Maldonado. Lack of control there. Not the sort of skill you see you expect at international level, really. He should have killed that ball. Oh, that's another free kick given away needlessly. And it's the yellow card for Acosta. So the captain joins Morovic and Cavallo in the book. Three bookings, and what that means is that Venezuela are really walking on a bit of a tightrope because they could lose any of those players for one more indiscretion. As Vera plays the ball wide, he surely can't get that one. He would have had to have been a racehorse. So an unavailing gallop by the full-back. Just think that Venezuela have also left out Feblis, who played at central striker for them in previous games. He's on the bench. Chile have had a good record in recent years in reaching World Cup finals. They of course staged the World Cup in 1962. They were in England in 1966, missed out in 70, but then played in West Germany in 1974 and Spain in 82. That's better. This time Hesis will reach it. Can't quite keep it in play. He was always at full stretch again. And the service to him has not been of the best order. Venezuela, that's the half-hour mark, conceding just the one goal, as indeed they did, of course, against Brazil in their first meeting. They went down by 4-0 in the end. Pizarro fires that long ball out there. That was Puebla playing it forward. So still just the one goal by Letelier separating the sides as Puebla goes across to retrieve the ball. Much the better football has come from Chile so far. Venezuela's deficiencies would appear to be mostly in midfield, and I don't think they're really giving the service to Carlos Maldonado that he needs. He scored 4 very, very good goals in the South American Championships, but he's not had a sniff of goal really here. Oh, that's a bad tackle again. That's a terrible tackle from behind by Fernandez. And really, the referee from Ecuador should have booked him for that, in my opinion. It was certainly as bad as the other ones we've seen in the game. Well, they haven't got a lot of men back at the moment. They're having to funnel a few back now. Unfortunately, that little slip in midfield gives Venezuela the chance to break, so the boot's on the other foot for a change. Maldonado forward, the offside. It's happened 2 or 3 times now that when they've got into a good position, the final pass has been delivered at the wrong moment, really. And he just made the break too soon. Aravena. Oh, it's a great ball for Letelier. Oh, dearie, dearie me. 2-0 and a catastrophe for Gomez, the goalkeeper. 2 for Letelier, 2 for Chile. But really that one has to go down to a dreadful error by Venezuela's goalkeeper, Jose Gomez. The Chileans in the crowd are stunned really, but look at that, he's palmed it into his own net really. It's virtually an own goal. I think he was caught in 2 minds. He expected a cross from Letelier and ended up merely palming the ball backwards into his own net. That's a disaster for the stand-in goalkeeper. And it's a disaster for Venezuela as well. 2 down now. But Chile have really got the scent. There's the confirmation of that goal. And it's come just 11 minutes before the break. Oh, now a chance. Well, Astengo shut him out there, otherwise Fernandez would have had the best chance that Venezuela have had throughout the 35 minutes played. Bursting sporadically, really, but a little touch back doesn't quite reach the mark, but they're here, onside. Oh, and it's in the net, but now it won't count. So even now there's no fortune for Venezuela. The referee was sort of looking at his linesman all the way through that move. The ball was played back there, and the challenge from Astengo just did enough. The keeper palming it out, and then he was in an offside position. And the goal scorer, Letelier, has really got a problem now. So Chile down to 10 men for the moment. I don't think they'll be too concerned about that. What is important is that they've scored the first 2 goals of the game. And I would suspect they've got another free kick here. Passé, well, they're down to 9 men if he stays off. Not much doubt about that free kick, despite the fact that the Venezuelan defender tried to con the referee really into giving a goal kick. And Lopez is almost standing on the foot of the man about to take the free kick, who is Aravena. Well, a third now would really end Venezuela's hopes, if they've still got any. Driven hard and low, Letelier, a chance for a third, a lovely chip. And he's unfortunate not to have a hat-trick in the first half. That was intelligence itself. We've just seen him hobbling. He managed to get back onto the pitch. He kills the ball, chips it over the keeper, and not more than an inch or 2 over the bar. And you feel that if Venezuela don't actually manage to score a goal, they could be in for another caning here, because Chile's game is on song. Oh, he stuck at it well then. Torres has a corner. Again, Astengo, the defender who got across there, reads the game beautifully. I was going to say the looks on the faces wouldn't have really told a story, but there was one cheerful customer. Here's Venezuela's corner. Ooh, a free header. Wasn't a very emphatic one, to say the least, from Lopez. And generally, Roberto Rojas, apart from palming one effort out, has been largely unoccupied. The ball's in the moat again. He's not going down. Might never get back up again if he did. So we're approaching half-time with Chile holding a comfortable and deserved, it's got to be said, 2-goal advantage, with Juan Carlos Letelier having delivered the goods. We really have had a surfeit of free kicks conceded by Cavallo and Marovic. Vera. This time it is away, but not very far, and Chile keeps snapping up these loose balls in midfield. They're much quicker to them. Yanez did that just to make himself feel good, I think. Free kick now for Venezuela, but they are still midway inside their own half. And their joyous moments have been few and far between. And that's not another one, a handball. It's been a fairly easy game for the referee to control. We've had 3 bookings on the Venezuela side, which must be a cause of concern to their coach. What is of greater concern is that they are in a 2-goal deficit. He turned him there, and yet again Venezuela giving these free kicks away, only a few yards outside the penalty area. Hardly advisable tactic. So who knows, a chance of a 3rd goal for Chile before the break maybe. Came away off the defender. Oh, they've hustled well for it again. They have to get the ball out of defence quicker. You see there again, Vera was much sharper in reacting, although he didn't deliver a very good pass at the end of it. Rojas, almost a solitary figure back there. Over 40 caps, Roberto Rojas, the 31-year-old Chilean captain. That ball, was it kept in or was it not? Well, it was touch and go. It looked as though it was just out. Well, that was a rather hopeful clearance, rather than one aimed at a colleague, and it's put them back under pressure again. They coped reasonably well of Venezuela back there for the majority of the time, but there is a gulf in international class between some of these sides, and that's a delightful ball from Astengo, although he'd just gone that bit too far at Ivo Basay. Basay, of course, who played with the Chilean club Everton, but now is in France with Reims. Again, a rather casual air about some of the Venezuelan work back there. This time they have managed to manufacture the ball into the Chilean half. Maldonado can't work it through. So back they come again. Oh, he's onside, and this surely has to be 3. If he squares it now, it must be the simplest tap-in goal ever scored in international football almost. Totally caught out Venezuela. And Patricio Yanez gives us a scoreline of Chile 3, Venezuela 0. And that really has stunned the Venezuelans, coming just 2 minutes before half-time. The ball was delivered there. Now, he certainly came from an onside position. It was a galloping run indeed. And Yanez, well, I don't think hardly he could believe it. So simple. It was simple in the execution. And the referee and linesman are having a lot of explaining to do now. Venezuela's World Cup hopes had already gone, of course, before this game without a single point. They don't want to suffer a humiliation, and the arguments will be prolonged. And Fernandez is the one leading the verbal abuse, backed up by Lopez. But the all-important fact is that Chile are 3 up, only 2 minutes from half-time, and that break down the left there completely undid them. So 2 for Letelier, 1 for Yanez, and Chile have got the game sewn up. There's no way back for Venezuela surely now, although they've managed to get a shot on target there for Rojas. Well, that really was a classic example in how to beat the offside trap. Pizarro. They do look extremely vulnerable now. Oh, it's another chance, Vera! Well, they've been lucky to survive at 3-0. Vera could well have made it 4. And this has not really been a very convincing defensive display from Venezuela. They were naive in extreme there. So we're approaching the half-time whistle, and I'm sure that Venezuela will be rather glad of it. Just away, regroup, and think about what's gone wrong. certainly everything that's gone right has gone right for Chile. They got the first 2 goals from Letelier in 14 and 34 minutes. Yanez made it 3-0 after 43. That gives us the half-time scoreline of Chile 3, Venezuela 0. And we'll be with you with the second half after the break. Welcome back to Mendoza. A reminder then that Chile are leading here by 3-0, and that is significant. Just thinking about it during the half-time break means that Chile have now piled up 7 goals against 2 in their 2.5 games. Brazil, of course, 11-1 their goal difference from 3 matches. So if Chile could just pick up another 3 goals in the second half, it really would make it very interesting for that return game between Brazil and Chile this weekend. Venezuela now, I won't thank me for saying this, but they've now conceded 16 goals in their 3.5 games. And of course, if Chile go on to secure the 2 points here, as they surely must now, they will join Brazil on 5 points apiece. Everything to play for in that last game. Oh, what a good start to the second half. It's into the side netting, but it was certainly a moment for the crowd to savour. Aravena, who knows what it's all about, scoring goals in World Cup matches against Venezuela, trying to get his name on the sheet at the very beginning of the second half. And this goalkeeper, Jose Gomez, must feel a bit like an Aunt Sally in a shooting range at the moment. Game generally going the way we expected it to do. Chile enjoying the majority of possession and good attacking moments as they are now. They've got 3 and they'll be looking to add to that tally in the remaining 44 minutes of the game. And of course Brazilians will be watching this match with keen interest, and they know it will not be easy in that final game of the group. The other factor, of course, is that this must increase the Chilean confidence for that game. It would be very easy for them to go in against Brazil. They are the underdogs, they could be overawed. They're on the attack once more. But if they do secure, say, a 5 or 6-0 win here, then that confidence would be boosted no end. And I would think that their coach, Orlando Aravena, 50 next time, will be highly delighted with the way they've performed here. Especially in attack and in midfield, they've been very authoritative. Venezuela, on the other hand, have not been too impressive. In fact, they've become less impressive with each successive game, which suggests that their confidence has really been undermined. Forward by Puebla. On a lovely turn again. That was well played by Basset. And he's got good pace as well. The defender merely blocks his progress. It was made in a way to look a little bit worse than it was. Basset pushed the ball around him and then just ran straight into him. They're both feeling the consequences. And Venezuela continue to run the risk of getting a man sent off, with 3 of them already booked. Zdenko Marovic, the one from Yugoslavian extraction, Roberto Cavallo and the captain Pedro Acosta, all cautioned in the first 45 minutes. Basset is back on his feet, happy to re-enter the fray. And Aravena will float another of these free kicks in. Very, very close to the target as well. Picked up once again by Puebla. Continues his run and tries to get on the end of the pass. And a break on for Venezuela. Oh, but again, they didn't seem to know one another's whereabouts. Vera. Switching the point of attack again, and Llanas down that touchline. Promising move again for Chile, this. Back from Basay. Italia unable to get there that time. So Llanas again. There's a lot of white shirts around now. I think that Venezuela have very much missed the steadying influence of Betancourt in defence. And also Pacheco, who had a good first game. I saw them. Here's a chance now. Venezuela really... Oh dear. Never thought about the cross at all. That's gone out of play. 2 men in attendance up in the penalty area and played the ball yards ahead of them. Gave them no chance whatsoever. Isis is out on the touchline. Nobody seems to want to give him the ball at the moment. It's a rather strange pass. Found a friend in Puebla, but Pizarro now. Too close. Atelier can't get it through. Better from Venezuela. Very little semblance of coordination in the Venezuelan midfield and attack, which is why they're constantly being pushed back, because every time they get the ball the move breaks down. You won't be too happy with allowing that to run out of play. That was a bit sloppy. Jaime Vera, 26 now. Played well in the South American Championships. Formerly played for Colo Colo. Oh, that's a good turn. That's where they're so much more skillful. And he was taken out of the game, but the referee didn't see anything wrong with it. That challenge will bring another free kick for Chile, and again it's noticeable that Venezuela aren't afraid to concede free kicks just outside the penalty area, and they were punished for doing that by Aravena in Caracas. There's a feeling every time that they could be punished again. 3 down at the moment. All those white shirts back behind the ball. Marovic is trying to organise things. Number 6 here is Pizarro. Too high. Not got the shooting boots on today. Just as well, I think, for Gomez, who we've seen have one particularly nasty moment. That will live with him for a long time, palming the ball into his own net. Not the best kicker of a ball either. A bit of athleticism from Isis, who's had a good game at right back. Gets up and down that touchline very quickly. Pizarro leaves it for Aravena. Good ball played out once more for Puebla. They created their space beautifully there. It's just going to be too long. That's where I wanted it, says Vera. I fancy it's the Chileans in the crowd here in Mendoza, making most of the noise. This one of the stadiums, of course, that was used in the 1978 World Cup finals in Argentina. I remember one famous occasion here where Scotland beat Holland by 3 goals to 2. admirable performance by the Scots, who up to that point had not performed well at all, losing to Peru and drawing with Iran in Cordoba. But they've got very happy memories of Mendoza. There's a bit of a formidable look about Chile at the moment. They play the ball around confidently. Admittedly, they're up against one of the weaker nations. Well, that's nicely done, Fernandez. Well done by Puebla too in getting back just to hold his man off. He was looking really threatening then. But just looking at this Chile side now, they've got a solid goalkeeper in Rojas. They've got a fine attacking right back in Isis. Astengo is a really quality player at the back who reads the game remarkably well. In Pizarro, they've got a strong man too on the left. Midfield looks quite good with Aravena and Vera. And up front, Letelier, who's got his 2 goals. And of course on the bench they've got people like Rubio, who's gone to Bellinzona of Switzerland recently from Bologna. He's a talented player, and Yanez of course will always cause troubles down the touchline. So Chile have got some pretty fine footballers at this moment. Here's one of them, Ivo Basay, lining himself up for a shot here maybe. He's just gone a bit too far, but Basay's still in there. Could this be 4? Turned over the defender. Loud appeals for a penalty. The referee justifiably says no to those appeals. The defender, I'm sure, was a little bit worried just because of the way Basay went down. But for the moment, Chile have to be contented by leading 3-0. Really, one can see no way back into the match for Venezuela. They've hardly given a service at all to the danger man Maldonado. Fernandez has been kept quiet, and so back they come to defend again. Vera on the ball. Gets the support he was looking for, out on that touch line. The chance of a measured cross this time. Gomez showing a safe pair of hands on that occasion. Might just keep this in. So Fernandez invitingly rolling the ball across there, and Maldonado is in a good position. Looks as though we're about to have the first substitution of this game. Here come Chile again. There's no question of them sitting back on that 3-goal advantage. Venezuela just unable to quicken the pace of their attack. And there's not a lot of variety about them at the moment either. The linesman is trying to catch the eye of his referee. As you can see, the hoisted yellow flag held in the 2 hands. Means that now we can have the change of personnel. Acosta has gone off, one of the players booked. Pedro Gallardo is the man on, wearing number 13. Oh, a chance, and a good chance as well. Spurned on this occasion. Well, the moment that Gallardo came on, he could have found himself in a side that was trailing 4-0 instead of 3-0. It could have been a very unlucky number 13 change. It was a very solid Header out there. Chile are just coasting it for the moment. They were coasting a little too easily there. Too short a pass. So here is Gonzalez. Through the legs. The passing hasn't been too precise at all. Venezuela have a lot of work to do, not just in this game, but in football as a whole in their country, to bring themselves up to the level of most of the other South American countries. They and Bolivia are perhaps the two of the weaker ones. And it really, in this group, has always been a question of would it be Brazil or would it be Chile? No doubt everybody will expect Brazil certainly to be in Italy. Argentina there, of course, as the defending champions after their victory in the Mexican final against West Germany. Interesting group as well, involving Uruguay and Peru. That really was wayward. Just a bit of a lull in proceedings at the moment. Chile having got those 3 goals, 2 of them from Letelier, 1 of them for Yanez, are just able to sit on that advantage, but they should be considering the fact that they need a few more goals really to build up their confidence for the forthcoming meeting with Brazil. Can't believe it. You really can't believe that. Gallardo absolutely disgusted about that decision. Chile's coach happy for the moment to leave on the 11 who've been doing a fine job ever since the kick-off. He's got some pretty useful substitutes to call on, people like Lionel Contreras, Juan Covarrubias, both had a lot of international experience. I think that one was offside by a pretty big margin. Aravena to Pizarro. The stuffing really was knocked out of Venezuela by the second goal, the one where the unfortunate Gomez palmed the ball into his own net, and then the third one coming just 2 minutes from half-time with that debatable breakaway down the left, and the tap-in strike for Yanez really did deflate them badly. Here Aravena, who's taken a lot of free kicks in this match, tries to make it 4, straight into the wall. Again, he'd have been better playing the simple ball. He asked him to do rather a lot there. Gallardo had no chance whatsoever. Vera. The defender doing a lot of running around for nothing there. Pizarro. He's a very composed player. Oh, this is good movement. Lovely movement inside the area. Letelier is finally hounded out. I would have thought it was perhaps in Venezuela's interests, bearing in mind he's one of their top attackers, to try and get Pedro Febles on, just to give them another option in attack. Admittedly, they're not going to be seen in Italy next year in the World Cup finals, but they do have their self-respect to preserve. 3 down at the moment, and Yanez, lovely play from Patricio Yanez, beaten by the second challenge, defending back by Jose Lopez. Yanez has really come back into the international front. He's 28 now. He's won over 30 caps. Once had to overcome a heart condition of all things. Very unusual for a footballer. Seems to have done that successfully. Throws by Jesus. Still 3-0 then to Chile. Here they're looking for a fourth. And they've won it inside that penalty area once more. Venezuela continuing to look a little bit vulnerable. Although perhaps just a touch of urgency has departed from the Chilean game. Sometimes I suppose you're going to almost have too big an advantage. A bit of complacency sets in. Throw by René Torres. Fairly won by Pizarro. That looked like a handball. The referee thought so too. That's a good ball from Lopez. Love to see Maldonado get a chance up there so we can see just how sharp he can be in front of goal. That was almost it. It was going wide. So Rojas still really hasn't had a save of note to make in the match. Isis. Good ball. I wouldn't say a yard faster, but they are a touch quicker than their counterparts. They think quicker too to the Chilean players. And they're stringing some nice passes together now. Puebla. Oh, and the keeper's in trouble. Oh, again. Gomez was so unsure. When he came off his line, he never had a hope in hell of getting there for that one. And he was lucky not to be punished with a fourth goal. He really was. All you could say in his defence was he managed to put the striker off for the header, but he couldn't have had an argument if it had gone in. It really would have been his fault. Morovic. And again Chile with Vera in the good position to strike here. Vera might get it himself. Still Vera, good running. Oh, Gomez has redeemed himself. Fine save that time. In fairness to the goalkeeper, he got his positioning right. Splendid run from Vera. That's the sort of movement and acceleration and shot that made him such a good player in the South American Championships. A couple of years ago. Oh, dearie me, that's four. An awful mistake again from Venezuela. And Letelier has got his hat-trick. 3 goals for Juan Carlos Letelier, and that one was put on a silver platter for him. I don't think he could believe this. It looks the back heel from one of the opposition to him. Gomez can't believe it. Letellier's got his third. Chile have got their fourth. Goal it is indeed. Chile 4, Venezuela 0, and the goal difference just creeps up now. Chile 8-2, their goal difference in Group 3 now, as they lead 4-0 here. Brazil's 11-1. So things beginning to look quite good here, if you're a Chilean supporter. A rather feeble effort there for Venezuela. It's not been their day at all, has it? But you have to say that on 3 occasions now, Venezuela have really shown their international naivety. The second goal gross mistake by their goalkeeper. The third goal, they were caught dreadfully square, and the offside trap, well, it didn't just not work, it was non-existent. And the fourth goal there, a really clumsy effort in defence, presenting Letellier with his hat-trick. 4-0 it is, they're coming looking for 5, he's onside. Must be a very good chance of making it 5 as well, and this time Gomez flings himself down and manages to turn the effort aside. Otherwise it could have been mounting towards a cricket score. Good save though. And they're almost becoming greedy now, they're queuing up for goals, and he's done it again. Well, it's a purple patch for Jose Gomez. He wasn't to blame for the fourth goal, and since then he's made 2 excellent stops. A clear header though for Basset. And they're really caving in defence. What can they do in attack? Maldonado. Back by Gallardo. Nipped in the bud again. The crowd are really urging their side on now. They can sense that they could score any number now. Yanez a bit too enthusiastic. Oof, pays the penalty for his enthusiasm. The Venezuelan defence continue to contest the referee's nerve. The production of cards. We've had 3 yellow ones, no red ones as yet. I really don't think a stretcher is necessary at this point. If ever I saw a time-wasting tactic. Well, I didn't really see anything there to warrant the necessity for a stretcher, unless the player needs to lie down. That same group of supporters we saw earlier, I think, would probably agree with that assessment. They look quite intrigued as to what is going on. Maldonado merely wants to tie his bootlaces. And Pedro Febles is on now for Venezuela. It's Fernandez who's gone off. So Venezuela have made 2 substitutions. Febles for Fernandez, Gallardo for Acosta. But far more pertinent is the fact that they trail 4-0 and are in danger of trailing 5. But just too long for Yanez, who does a mock kick. Been quite a tortuous experience for Gomez, who's, well, I've got to say, responsible for keeping the score down to 4 at least. Could have been at least 7, but for him. On the other hand, he has made a couple of gaffes. One in particular which really turned the course of the game in the 34th minute, when he helped Letellier's shot come cross into the net. I think we'll give the benefit of the doubt, and Letellier will be credited with that second goal as opposed to Gomez's own goal. And rather nice for Juan Carlos Letellier to have a hat-trick against his name. The man from Cobreloa has now won 50 caps for his country. He's just returned to Cobreloa after a spell in Colombia, and is of course the most experienced player they've got. He's featured in World Cups before, of course. 1982 he played in Spain. Chile, as they've been for most of this game, are on the attack. Oh, that's nicely done. Very nicely done. Just the shot at the end of it was a miss. It must be discouraging for Venezuela When goals like the last one went in, there really wasn't a great deal of danger when the defender had the ball at his foot, and then to slice it back straight to Letelier is the sort of thing that happens and makes heads in the team go down. There were one or two dropped certainly at that moment. The applause is because Chile are to make a substitution, and it is Yanez who scored the third goal, who has been replaced. Here is Juan Covarrubias. Another very experienced player coming on though. Covarrubias, who played at Wembley against England back in May. Pizarro. Nicely helped on. Isis. But there's been a good pattern to Chile's football in this game. They've always had the upper hand, and they always seem to instinctively know where their teammates are. That was a classic example as Basay put the header out to Isis there. Oh, and here's a good chance. Well, that really shouldn't have been spurned. Gomez dashing off his line. Aravena was the man in there. And, again, the Venezuelan defence easily breached there. He ran between those two defenders. That could have been 5. And in all honesty, the overall score could have been 5, 6, 7 or even 8. But for the moment it's still Chile 4, Venezuela 0. But Venezuela in possession inside the Chilean half. It's not often we've been able to say that in this second half. And it won't last for long. Aravena to Pizarro. Another free kick, and Venezuela continue to concede these free kicks inside their own half. And it's been a sobering experience for Venezuela, this Group 3 in South America. They didn't perhaps expect to win any of their games, but they would have done, or expected to have done rather better than concede as many as 17 goals. And they haven't finished yet. They face another Chilean free kick. 4-man wall protecting everything they possibly can there. Personally as well as collectively. Well, the referee's got rather fed up with these defenders who charge out at free kicks. He also has to measure out the 10 yards rather too frequently. So have another go with exactly the same result. Gonzalez, rugged defender, finding Puebla. Doesn't look unlike him. That one breaks down. Some intelligent running down the right by the substitute Gallardo, who's evaded one man. Not a bad looking cross either. Easily away though. Oh, and that's nicely done in the centre circle. Tremendous running on the ball, and here is a great chance. Oh, he was blocked out of it. And the referee saw it as a free kick, and quite rightly so. There was the ball had run away from him actually, so the danger had been averted. It was a tremendous run in midfield here. But once it was taken on by Basay, there was no need for the defender to do that at all. And they continue to rather stupidly concede free kicks around the penalty area. And referee Jacome has been quickly on the job every time. He's giving quite a lecture there to Febles, who fortunately for Venezuela has only been on a matter of minutes. If he'd been on longer, I think he might have been cautioned for that. Febles, an attacker, having to defend totally since he came on. Well, I'm sure that Aravena statistically would believe he ought to get one of these in. From the opportunities he's had, he's got to... he can't get any height on that free kick. So the chance has gone begging again. And some respite for the Venezuelans. Well, it must seem a long time ago to them now, since they scored their one World Cup goal in that 3-1 defeat against the same opposition in Caracas. That was the substitute on that occasion, Fernandez, who's played up until Febles came on here. Pizarro. They're almost queuing up now. Pizarro surrounded by white shirts for the moment, eventually threading it through. Aravena looks as though he's trying to tee himself up. Instead he's giving it to Basay inside the penalty area. Gomez again comes off his line in a bit of trepidation. But there's so much sloppiness in the Venezuelan midfield and defence that they never seem to have possession for more than a couple of seconds. But it really is building up so nicely now to the match we always knew would be the climax in Group 3, the one between Brazil and Chile, to sort out just who goes to Italy and who doesn't. It would be quite a shame for Chile if they don't make it after a very good performance here and also in Caracas. The substitute now, Covarrubias. Mantonado's come a little bit further back to try and get himself involved in the game. Gallardo. You've got the feeling he's running in down a corridor here, and with the door at the end of it, nowhere to go. He can have a free kick, can he? Or a throw-in, maybe. I suspect it's a free kick. Wrong again. Oh yes, the whistle continues to go. I'm sure it's a free kick and that nobody's realised it yet. The linesman doesn't seem to know what to tell Nelson Carrero either. And eventually the message has got through and now the linesman's not happy. Oh dear. Well, perhaps Venezuelan time wasting is the only thing that they've got left to offer. 4-0 down. It's been an unhappy experience for them, but one from which they must surely learn something for next time. As Covarrubias takes it on away from Lopez. And they're in all sorts of trouble at the back of Venezuela now. Covarrubias tries to work his way around the full-back. Torres. For once, Torres comes away with it. Certainly this is the sort of performance which must have lifted morale in the Chilean camp for that crucial game with Brazil. They have drawn with them 1-1 already, so they've no reason to be going into their match overawed. Here's another one, maybe. That's 5. And this time it's Vera. Gomez beaten again. He got his hand to it. The ball entered the far corner. Chile 5, Venezuela 0. Letelier is the player running back with the ball. I'm pretty sure the shot came in from Vera. Here it is. The keeper can do nothing about it. And it's turning into a rout now. And a thoroughly satisfactory performance by Chile. 5-0. And that means that their goal difference gets better and better. 9-2 it is now, a difference of 7, whereas Brazil 11-1, a difference of 10. And there's no question, of course, it's going to be Brazil 5 points, Chile 5 points when they meet in the final game in the South American Group 3 in the World Cup. Oh, Venezuela have a chance though here. Oh, he should have done better. That's certainly the best opportunity that's come their way, and that really is badly spurned. It was a direct shot at goal. He had a clear view and should at least have forced Rojas into a save. Just shows how low morale must be in the Venezuelan ranks now, I think. So 3 goals for Letelier, 1 for Yanez, 1 for Vera. And they're looking for number 6 now. They always appear capable. Here is Letelier. Defending this time is much better, but yes, I'm not quite sure myself what that free kick is for. So it's becoming a rather humbling time for Venezuela. 6-0 they lost to Brazil, 5-0 they're down here to Chile. So 11 goals conceded in 2 games by 2 different goalkeepers. Covarrubias. We're coming up to the last 5 minutes of the game. It's Puebla, brings Pizarro into the match. Bit of a dash on for Gonzalez. Gonzalez very much a steadying influence at the back in this side, and he's made some pretty good runs forward as the man from Colo Colo, who's been sent off more than anybody else in Chilean football. It's an unfortunate thing to be renowned for, but it's true. Not this time. Gomez able to smother that one. And I think it's fair to say that Venezuela will be rather happy to hear the final whistle. Would of course be a major upset if Brazil didn't qualify for the World Cup finals, the only country to have appeared in every one of them. Now they can face a Chile side that is very much rejuvenated by recent performances, and in for number 6 here surely. Oh, it must be a goal. Shouldn't say things like that. Letelier shouldn't miss chances like that. They were really all saying, I'll have it this time. And any one of 3 of them could have scored. It was the perfect ball back. A pretty awful miss. So he took it a bit too early, a bit too nonchalantly as well. And it really could have been a double-figure score. It's almost as though Venezuela lifted themselves as much as they possibly could for the 2 games against Brazil. And they've really collapsed in this last few moments. They could have given any number away here. Now Chile would like to repeat the 6-0 scoreline that Brazil inflicted on Venezuela. Oh, this is trouble. Oh, this is getting very heated and very silly, really. It's all pushing and jostling and nothing particularly serious, I don't think. Oops. Trying to make it a bit more serious than that. Not quite sure what ignited that incident. Coming towards the last couple of minutes of the game, it really would be nonsensical for somebody to get themselves sent off now. Let's have another look. He really did catch him from behind. It was a bad challenge. When as many players get involved as that in a little fracas, it's a problem for the referee to know who to single out. So Mendoza presenting a very pretty picture, especially for the Chilean supporters who've made the journey to Argentina to see their team carry themselves into this last game with Brazil in very good heart indeed. It's certainly been an emphatic victory, this one. Lost by 5 goals, 3 of them for Juan Carlos Letelier. It must do wonders for the confidence of the Chilean side and for their coach Orlando Aravena, who's known success with his country before. What a last game that was going to be, but can they get a sixth goal here? Yes, it really is all set up in the grand manner now for this weekend's clash with Brazil. And that should be some rarefied atmosphere. Letelier, scorer of 3 goals. The header this time wayward. Nobody will want to find that dressing room quicker, I think, than goalkeeper Gomez. And indeed, he can go in search of it now. A convincing victory then for Chile. They've beaten Venezuela here in Mendoza by 5 goals to 0, and they were not only worth that margin, they were worth many more. A hat-trick from Letelier. He got the first goal on 14 minutes. That really unnerved Venezuela. He got the second on 34 with considerable assistance from their goalkeeper. Yanez getting